Hello everyone, welcome to the session Object-Oriented Programming through Java. Myself, Navya. I'm an assistant professor from the Department of CSIT in MLR Institutions of Technology. So today's topic is files in Java. So here in today's session, we are going to discuss what is files and how it will be worked in Java, and what are the file class constructors and what are the methods related to file class, and an example program for the files. So coming to the file class. So here basically what is a file? Actually a file is it might be in text file or an binary file. So which we can know in a previous languages. So regular language. So here for the files there was a separate built-in package is there for a file which is available in input output. So here there is a built-in class for a file which consists of a number of methods. So directly we can perform operations and we can use the methods on the text files. So here the file is in built-in class in Java, and file class has been defined in java.io package, and here a file class represents reference to a particular file or a directory, and there were various methods to perform operations like creating a file or a directory, or reading a file, or updating a file content, or deleting a file or a directory. Okay, so these are the operations we can do using files in Java. So one is creating a file, get file information, or writing into a file, or reading from a file, or deleting a file. So coming to file class constructors. As it was a class, it needs a constructor. You might have here the automatic default constructor is not available for the file. You has to give the parameter to the constructor. Here file with the parameter set path name, string path name. It creates a file instance by converting the given path string name into an abstract path name, and if the string is empty, if you are not giving anything, if the string is empty, so that results in empty abstract path name. So you has to give the path name of a file. Okay, and string parent as well as string child. Here it creates a new file instance from a parent abstract path name and a child path name string. Okay, if the parent is null, then the new file instance is created by invoking a single argument file constructor on a given child path name, and you can give a file parent and a string child. Okay, it creates a file instance from a parent abstract path name and a child path name string. So if the parent is null also, then it will create a new file instance. New file instance is created by invoking the single argument file constructor on the given child path name string, and you can give an URI also. So it creates a new file instance by converting the given file URI into an abstract path name. So these are 4 constructors which consist in a file. Coming to the methods of a file. So you can have a number of methods in the file, but these are some of the basics. So get name, string get name, it returns a string. Actually what it returns is the name of the particular file or a directory. Whatever the path name you has given, based on that it will give you the file or directory that referenced by the current file object. Okay, get parent, it returns the path name or the path name's parent, or null if the path name does not have a parent directory. Get path, it returns the path of a current file, and get parent file, so it returns you the path of the current file's parent, or if the current file does not have any parent, then it will return null value. And get absolute path, it returns the current file or directory path from the root. From the root itself it will give the path. And the next boolean is absolute. it will return true or false. So it returns true if the current file is absolute file, false if it is not an absolute file. And is directory to if the current file object, if you are giving with the current file object is a directory, then it will return you true. If it is not a directory, then it will return you false. And is file, if you are giving a directory, if my path name is a directory path, so whether it will check whether it is a file or not. So it returns true if it is if the current file is a file, otherwise it will return you false. Exist, so it returns you true if the current file exists. If the current file does not exist, it will return you false. And can read, so it checks whether the specified file has in read mode or not. So you can read permission. Okay, if it has read permissions, first it will return you true if and only if the file specified exists and can be read by the applications, or it will return you false. Can write, it will return you if the current specified file have the right permission for the application. So it returns true if and only if the file specified exists and the application is allowed to write to the file. Otherwise, it will return you false. Length returns the length of the current file. Loss modified is it will return the time that specifies the file was when the file was lost modified. Okay, create new file. It returns you true if the named file does not exist and was successfully created. So you can create a new file. Okay, false if already it was exists, it will return you false. And delete it, it deletes a file or directory and it returns true if and only if the file or directory is deleted, else it will return you false. And mkdir is a method which returns true if and only if the directory was created, otherwise it will return you false. Rename to, you has to give a destination path also. It renames the current file and it will returns you true if and only if the renaming is succeeded. Okay, it will, or else it will return you false. Okay, list. List is a method, it returns you array of strings that contains names of all files and directories in the current directory. So here is a small example program. So I am taking java.io package, which because a file is a built-in class which consists in java.io. Okay, so file F I am creating a new with a path name. I am giving a path name, and first you have to check whether it can execute or not, and you can get name of a file and you can get the absolute path using get parent, what was the parent of that particular file, and can write it, does it has the right permission, can write does it has a read permission, f dot exists, whether it is exists or not, and f dot loss modified, when was the loss modified, and f dot length of the particular file, and you can have the create new file, set read only and delete. These are some of the methods you can have it. So let us execute this program. So file class demo. So I am giving the path of Navya.txt. which is already exist. So I am welcome to MLRT. Hello everyone, welcome to MLRT. I just modified just now. Okay. Java C file class demo. Java file class demo. See here, what I got is it an executable file? Yes. And what was the name of the file? Navya.txt. And what was the path of the particular file? Is this. And what was the parent path name? So here, till the folder, it will give you the path. And is it in a write mode? Yes. And is it in a read mode? Yes. And is it an existed? Yes. And what was a loss modified? So how much is a loss modified? This is how the data will be get through files. So in this session, what we have learned in the session, we have learned what is a file. Okay, file is a built-in class which was defined in java.io package and which consists of 4 constructors, and we have seen the methods of file class, and we have seen an example program. So, thank you all.